Hi, how's it going? My name is Cody Raby, and today I'm going to be demonstrating my portfolio website and showcasing some of the basic code. This website's made using Flask, Python, some HTML, a little bit of JavaScript, and some CSS. First of all, I have my bachelor's degree in computer science and a minor in data science, and yeah, I like to work on web apps in particular, and I have some full stack experience. And I'm going to be showing the basics of this as well as potentially how to make one or just demonstrating this web page in general. So, um, first of all, I guess I'll show it. So, we have an About Me section, this particle effect on the home page. You can see the gradients changing as well in the background. My skills, resume, contact me. You scroll down as Snap scrolls down. We have projects, Cody's Casino, and then we have redirects to my information. So, if you go to About Me, see some information, basic render template, same thing here, resume, same thing. We have a container loading in my static directory, my resume. Contact Me autofills my email into a mailbot, into a mail app, and it will be, see on the bottom left, you see mail to. It's going to autofill it in the user's mail. We have projects, you click here. All of the projects are displayed. The options, these all have IDs as well in the hrefs, which I'll get to. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but once you click on them, it's going to load that IDs information. This is the embedded page. This is the project description. Then this is my contribution. We have the GitHub redirect link, and then we have basically just a redirect URL to that embedded link. And then we come down here. We have my casino. I've been logged in. We have a login page, a register. Once you're logged in, you can see here we have dice and we have blackjack and we have a leaderboard. It's very basic, but it works. I'm gonna play some dice. I'm gonna go $1,000 on even. Looks like I lost. I can also bet on like two. Let's put $2 on it. I lost. Put two bucks on two. Lost, yeah, but it would have paid more if I hit. And blackjack, we'll do some random amount. Ace and a four. There is some type of JavaScript issue with this, but it does function correctly. For some reason, the dealer just auto hits if they're at that below threshold. So you can see the two cards, but I have a 13 I'm going to hit regardless. I busted. I would have lost. We're going to say this. I got to hit that. Stay. 21. Go again. They have a queen. I have this. They're probably over. I got to hit. Hit. That 20. I won. Alright, so I finally won one. But it updates your coins as well. And then you have a thing here. If you're out of coins, you can click here, redirect. It'll set a session thing up here to true and give the user coins. It shouldn't do it for me because I've already had it set to true. So yeah. But yeah. Let's see. And well, I guess I got it set up correctly because it's not working trying to jailbreak it. But let's get into the code. So first of all, I'm going to show that index page code. This is the HTML for it. Simple as it gets, literally just HTML. So we have our head here. Every file has this, so I don't want to touch on it again. But the title, this is set for the device width. We have a reference to my style sheet, which is in my static CSS style.css, which I'm not going to touch on the style.css. The code for this is on my GitHub. You can check this out. I'm going to briefly scroll through some stuff that matters, like the slide snap stuff. This handles it. We have a container. This handles it to container. Y mandatory for the scroll snap, so Y being vertical. Then we have slides, scroll snap, align, start, and then we have the slide one. So this is animation, which is referenced here, gradient animation for slide two. And then we have just other CSS stuff. I'm not going to go over that again. It's just CSS codes there if you want to look at that. For styling purposes, I'm going to go over the functionality. We have our reference to the full gradient container, slide one. my info with H references, and then target, this will just open that up in its own thing, and then same thing with this, it'll open a new page for that, and yeah, pretty basic. It's just index.html. The app route for it, also very basic up here. It's just a render template. And also, these are imports. We use Flask, render template, redirect, URL4, request, session, flash, JSONify, SQAlchemy for the casino database, bcrypt for encrypting the password, OS.json, OS.json random, used for randomizing the dice rolls and other stuff. Then we have load.env, which is used for loading our key, our secret key, for configuration of the database and the app. So this is for setting up our database. Don't really need to worry about this too much. This is for initializing of the bcrypt. You do need to worry about this. And then we have our model here for user. So we have a primary key ID, username, which is unique, password, coins, which are default to 1,000, then a user type. So we have an admin panel and a default user panel, which is just the casino page I showed. I should go ahead and show that admin panel too on here. So, bam. Log in, right? So it's flashing stuff because I guess I don't have a flash button, or I have something here for it, but it doesn't matter. You can mess with database. So I'm gonna give it a user 2. It's just the admin panel, pretty basic. Check login. This is used for the casino. If user ID not in session, redirect login. Basically just making sure the user is logged in that session. Then we create our database with this. We load our JSON file, which is used for this projects page. I'm going to go ahead and show this HTML first. I think that's the best way to do it. URL for project, so the project.html page, and then the ID. So when you load projects, right, and you select one of these, this is the ID up here, right? And the reason for that being ID is defined here. So we load this page with 1. So we have the project 1. So that information, all of this, is coming from a JSON file, which we load the app.py right here, and is passed right here. So we choose here which one was selected, the project ID, for projects, for project and projects. If the project ID equals the one that was selected, we're going to render that template with that project info. Otherwise, we're going to say there's a project that's not been found. For instance, try to do 9, project not found, right? Because it's not found, it's not a project. In our JSON file, we only have 8. So I'm going to show that JSON file here. We have ID1, we have the title, the description, the details, and the URL, and the get page. The format for them all looks the same because it is referencing that JSON file. It is the easiest way to implement it. Pretty easy to do. It looks good, and the design is pretty simple, but it gets the job done. So we're loading that file, displaying that information basically from JSON format, and that's it. So that is our projects page in our projects directory. We get down here and we have basic app routes, about me, and skills, just rendering the template, showing the information, very basic. About me, just this. Skills, same thing. I guess I'll show the HTML for it, very basic. And then we have our resume, same thing. I have a resume container, and then I reference static, and then the PDF for it. So inside of static here, I have CSS, my style is CSS. I have images, where I have the cards for blackjack, and the dice for dice. Then I have a favicon image, my JavaScript functions, and my resume. So everything that stays the same stays in static, right? So then we have templates. This is the HTML stuff. This is in our root directory, our app.py. And yeah, that's it. So for register, the way this works, first of all, on the web page, this is getting the stuff that's less portfolio, more just functionality of my code. So we go to register. This is a form. These are the form fields, username and password. If the method type is post, which if you go here to register, you will see that form method equals post that is defined in the form. This is really all that matters in this code. That's different from what I've gone over already. When the user clicks submit, we get that form info, and we have the method post. That's how we know that that's what we received. We're going to make sure the password's longer than 5, or not less than 5, I mean, so it has to be 5 at least. And then we're going to make sure the username doesn't already exist. We're going to hash their password if everything goes correctly. Set their user type to default 1, which you don't even really need the else 1 because it's set to default 1. So if user type 2, if username admin, you don't really need the else 1, but it's there just in case. Create a new user with their information committed to the session, and that's it. Then we redirect them to the login page where they can log in. It's the same logic here. The form, post type. I'm not going to show the HTML because it is the same. If request equals post, first we set the error messages to none. This is just a different way of handling it. And we pass the error message into the render template. If the method is post, meaning they clicked like submit on the form for login, right? They typed in username and password and logged in. Get their information. We check for the username. If it exists, we decrypt the password, check, make sure it matches, and then we get their information and we basically find out if they're an admin. If they're not an admin, we take them to the casino. If they are an admin, meaning user type equals 2, which I just went over that logic here, then we take them to the admin dashboard. Otherwise, we get the error message, which would just be an issue of some sort. We render that. So once the user logs in, they go to the casino page, which is here. There's dice, blackjack, and out of coins. I touched on the functionality of that, but the way this page works is it shows the leaderboard first. You have to make sure you're logged in. That's what this check login is that I showed at the front. Making sure user ID not in session, return to login. And then we get the user ID, or we get the user off the user ID in the session because they're logged in now. It's in the session. If the user type is not 2, we have access denied. So meaning they cannot get to the dashboard. So this is, oh, it's because I scrolled down. Yeah, this is a logic for the admin dashboard. Same thing, method posts in the dashboard. You can remove users. You can take their coins. That's what all this does. I'm not going to touch on this logic. It's just basically looking for that username, deleting them if you want them deleted, and then it's also resetting their coins to 0 if you want them reset to 0 by username. Method post, the form as well in there. See form, right? Method post, form. So it's pretty simple. I didn't mean to skip over the casino, so I'm going to go back to that. Casino, get the user, and we get all of the basically the coin leaders from the user database. So we go through there, we find all of the top 5 coin leaders, put in this leaderboard, and then this is to handle if someone clicks on that GitHub page that gives you coins. This is just basically seeing if the session has already been used, they've already clicked on it. If it has, then we don't do it. And then if it hasn't, we add their coins. But we pass the user, pass the leaderboard info to the file. Then on casino.html, you can see here we have for leader and leaderboard, leader.username, leader coins. This is showing the coin leaders basically. And then we have your coins, and we have the URL for the next stuff. And this is our JavaScript to handle that, the add coins logic that I was talking about, which is right here. And then we have logout. So basically, this is just going to log someone out. It's going to session pop the username, user type, user ID, so on and so forth. Dashboard I just went over. And update coins, this is whenever a user wins basically. It's used in my blackjack functionality. To stay on a 21 for sure. Yeah. Basically handles when I win, updates the user winnings based on what they entered, and that's it. Handles that. So dice, we make sure they're logged in. If you go to dice, gets the image of the default dice, which is right here. If the user clicks post, so if I click roll the dice on even, the post request, it's going to roll it. It's going to get a random dice number 1 through 6. It's going to get that image from my static images dice. And it's dice 1, dice 2, dice 3, dice 4. That's why it's images dice, dice, and then the variable .png. It's going to do the information on if we won and what we selected. And it's going to update that and commit it to the database. And we're also rendering the user, the dice image, and the render template. For Blackjack, we use JavaScript to handle the functionality. We make sure the user is logged in. This actually could be refactored to be that check login, but that's old. So we have user equals user query. Get the user, go into the template with the user information, and then the JavaScript handles the rest. So I'm going to show the HTML page for Blackjack because it's a bit different. Also show dice. You see dice here. It's just labels. The dice form ends right here. We have their messages, if you win or lose. The dice image, we have a for loop choosing which one's displayed. And then we have a bit of JavaScript here, basically just to ensure that you have the right amount, and also sparse, don't remember exactly, but we have Blackjack as well over here. So for Blackjack, we have blackjack.javascript down here, which handles most of it. Otherwise, it is just like the form, user input. I'm going to go over that briefly, this JavaScript, blackjack.javascript. So I'm not going to touch on this too much, but it's simply this builds a deck, this function right here, builds our deck, shuffle deck, so it shuffles it, we get a random one, right? Just basically swapping stuff, making it random. And then we're going to basically add an event listener for click, meaning the user clicks on place bet, and we get the amount, make sure that they're able to place a bet. We start the game, which is here. So first we have the hidden, which is that card that is hidden from the user. And then the dealer sum, so we know what the dealer sum is going into it. We have the dealer ace count, and while the dealer is under 17, we basically need to do all of this here. And then we have the hit function here. Where do we call that? Here, yeah. So if the user clicks hit, basically we have an event listener. So if the user clicks stay, we have an event listener for that. And all of those come together to handle the functionality of the blackjack. You can see we also have update coins here. Which is here. Make sure the user ID is in. You get the winnings, and then we look for it and we add it to the session. So it's a little combination of JavaScript, the backend here. I guess it's backend, but it's just render template for the most part, and a little bit of database logic, and then the HTML handles of forms to all come together to make that blackjack work. And then we have particle.javascript, which you can see here we have an event listener for the mouse move that's only on the index page. Particles being made. So we have slide 1, slide 2, the amount of particles per mouse movement. Then we have create. Then we have this too for slide 2. Create particle, and the logic for doing so is here. And don't copy my code exactly, please. I just want this video as a demonstration of the backend logic and the code itself. But that's really it. I mean, there's not much more to it. There's at the bottom, obviously, you need the if name main, so you run app.py or py app.py. It's going to run it. This is on Heroku is how it's hosted, which is why I have this set up. And I have a projects.json, a proc file for Heroku as well. And my readme, a little bit of info about it. These are the important requirements. And yeah, that's really it. It's simple. I just wanted to make an updated version of this. This website's gone through a lot of uh, like enhancements and stuff as I learn a bit more about CSS and like front end styling and stuff like that. It used to be pretty ugly, but hopefully I didn't skim over too much stuff like that matters, or hopefully I didn't go too in depth about stuff that doesn't matter. But that's gonna be it. Thank you for watching if you made it this far or tuned in. Um, Hopefully this was of use or at least interesting. And yeah, take it easy. Y'all stay blessed. Goodbye.